All right, welcome back everybody to episode 2 of That's Mad Podcast.
This is actually going to be a 4-part series going through each of the cities we went to on our Europe trip last year. So this episode will deal with Paris, and then we're going to talk about Nice, Florence, and Rome in future episodes.
Today we're joined by some guests to discuss our trip to Europe last year. It's going to be exciting. So again, I'm Vincent, and let's have everybody introduce themselves again. Jacob, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm the co-host here, along with Vince on the That's Mad podcast. You know me from the last episode, so I'll go give the floor to the two guests we have today.
What's up? It's Dino Tarantino, newly 18, ready to play the field.
Hey.
All right. Yep. Dino. Thank you.
I'm Tarantino Dino. Dino Tarantino's alter ego.
Oh my. All right. All right. So we got Dino Tarantino and Tarantino Dino.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
So as we mentioned, it's been over a year. It's been a long time since we did the Europe trip. We all went on it, so we're here to share our stories, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Who wants to start off? How do we want to go about this?
I think it's due time that me and Dino come clean on something. It's not our actual names.
Wait, it's not. I've known you guys for so long. What?
Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras.
No media.
Oh my goodness. All right, so cut to the. So all right, here we go. What do you have to come out about? What do you have to say?
So, my name's actually Michael, and I went on the Euro trip with these guys. When was it? It was a few years ago.
March.
It was just 1 year.
No, 1 year.
It was almost 1 year and a few months.
Yeah.
Time is sort of a blur right now. Not gonna lie, like 3 months have flown by like nothing. So yeah, about a year ago, we departed from DIA and flew to Missouri.
No,
and
Minnesota.
Same thing. All right.
Yeah,
They both
we're
begin
not in
with M.
Missouri. We're not in
Connecticut,
Missouri.
Colorado, and California are the same state. Changed my mind. So what? I suppose we can start with the plane flight over there.
Bro. Don't
The
even.
first one.
The first one,
overnight Minnesota to
the red eye
Fall.
flight. Yeah.
Bro, red eye flights usually you sleep on it or whatever, but this
deadly.
one was just not a flex. Honestly, like for this
Could have ended in
flight,
tragedy.
yeah. No, that was the last flight. The last flight was
No, the first one was sketchy too because the plane was falling apart.
Well, yeah.
The plane was not fit to fly.
So
Yeah,
what was it? Because we were all dead tired when we came out the other side of that. Like,
Hey man, let's watch the language.
Dino over here, otherwise known as Peter, because I'm gonna forget that we're calling him Dino, was like passing out on the train on the first day we were there.
There was no train on the first day, was there?
Yeah,
that was when you got the train shaky legs that you couldn't get rid of for like 4 days.
Bro.
But we'll get to that road when we cross it.
Yeah, everybody had the train. You close your eyes and start spitting.
Yeah, I did not. But that first plane flight was my first time going across the Atlantic Ocean, so it was sort of memorable. And I was actually really excited for that part of the trip, to the point that I had a map hanging up in my room where I'd put like string and markers between all the places we were going in Europe. But I also had a map that had North America and bits of Europe on it. And I actually mapped out the trajectory of our plane so that I could know where, like what side of the window to look out of to see stuff. So
And then
that
there's-
I
Sorry,
tried to
sorry,
get
go ahead.
yeah I tried to get a window seat. I didn't, but yeah, because I think I sat literally in the middle
I got the window.
Like,
I think.
because
Yeah,
it was
window.
one of
No,
those
no,
planes.
Never mind, I did not.
It was
Oh,
one of
man.
those planes that had the 3 rows.
Sucks.
Oh, yeah.
And so you have 2 rows of seats on one side, then 3 rows of seats in the middle, and then 2 rows of seats on the other side. And I was in the middle of the middle row, in the middle of the plane.
Yeah, that's when you beat me in chess, but we didn't even realize.
Yeah, I think that was like prior to all of us attempting to sleep. Was
Yeah.
we played a chess game. I was
And-
getting my kicked.
Yeah, I was destroying it. All of a sudden, dude moves a piece, and then all of a sudden checkmate, and we have no idea what just happened.
Yeah, that was funny. That was really funny.
It's hard not to break out in laughter because people are trying to sleep on the plane.
Yeah, and I had some. There was some like Italian dude next to me.
I
Like-
had a Slavic man next to me,
Yeah,
and he was breathing on me the whole night.
yeah.
Snoring.
And that plane flight over was. I mean, it was largely uneventful, but I think it was pretty. I think everybody was really excited, and the reason I wanted the window seat, I wanted to get on the left side, was because if I were over there, we would have been able to see like Greenland and Ireland and England as we flew into Paris. And the right side, you would have been able to see Spain, which would have been cool, but it was dark, and they don't have
Yeah.
electricity in Spain.
Well,
Yeah, it was the plane flight, but none of us could sleep.
yeah.
That was the
I
bottom
didn't
line.
sleep at all.
Bro,
I didn't sleep
well,
at all.
the
I
one
tried
time
so
did
hard, but
sleep- One time I did sleep was when they served breakfast, so I missed breakfast. So I, literally-
Wait, where's this?
I went the whole day
on the
without
plane,
breakfast
Peter.
in
Oh, my
like-
bad, my bad. I was gone for a second. I was hitting chest.
Man's talking over the other guy. So, just for like clarification, we're talking on Discord right now. So, if we're like talking over each other, that's why, because we're not actually like seeing each other.
Because
So-
coronavirus.
Yeah,
We're
COVID.
being
shout out.
responsible young adults,
Yeah,
and we all wear masks over our noses.
yeah. It's not a chin strap.
Yep.
It's a mask.
Yep.
So we got off the plane though, and we were on the bus driving down the Parisian highways that were flanked by gigantic concrete walls covered in graffiti.
Yeah.
And
It's-
yeah, it was
We sat in traffic for like 3 hours. It was insane.
Yeah, it was not a flex. Like literally off the plane, out of the airport, onto the bus, and then traffic until we got to Hotel Ibis.
Yeah, and-
Best hotel in Paris. Not really.
Something like that.
it wasn't that bad. I'll
Yeah.
say I think that was maybe outside of I would say outside of Nice, that was the best hotel we had.
Yeah, I could go for that.
So
Actually, I don't know. The one in what was it?
Montecatini.
Montecatini was
Outside of Florence.
the second outside of Florence. I think that was the second best.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Well,
That one was a cool hotel, but it was definitely not like as far as quality goes the best. That was why it was good though, was because it was just sort of dingy and you could do whatever you wanted.
Oh yeah. Well, the Ibis definitely had the best breakfast of the trip. I
Oh,
would
for
say.
sure, for sure.
The breakfast was
Even though
Spot
all
Even
the,
on.
the duck egg slapped.
even though all the hotels had croissants, like
Oh.
meat and cheese, like charcuterie platters,
Nutella.
like some fruit and Nutella, like
And no
that's-
water. No water.
Yeah, no
Oh
water.
yeah, you have
No
to drink
water anywhere.
sparkling water.
In
You have to
Europe.
drink sparkling water.
Yeah, and you know, it was weird because that same exact breakfast food was everywhere.
Mhm.
But I doubt that's what like normal Europeans eat for breakfast on a daily basis, because I expect it's like
No.
the American thing here, where if you go to a Hilton or whatever,
Yeah, it's
they have like the
egg,
make your own waffle. They've got
waffle.
like the sausages and all that. And I expect that. That's not how normal Europeans eat, but that's like the hotel breakfast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
that first day we were in Paris was because we flew into Paris, finally got to the hotel. We just literally dumped our bags into a single room because none of the other rooms were ready yet.
Yeah, literally
And
everybody. There were what? Like, how many people were on the trip from our school? Because it was
30 or so, I think.
Yeah.
40
no, I think it was closer to 50.
Yeah, I thought it's like 40.
was it?
45,
Oh
46.
man.
Yeah, it was our class. So we were juniors at the time, and then the senior class at the time. So anybody, I mean, there was obviously like a cap, but whoever like signed up from either grade could go.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that first day was for me it was such a blur just because I didn't have breakfast on the plane. I ended up not eating lunch anywhere. So I was
Oh.
literally running on like zero food. I didn't have like barely any water. I was about to pass out walking down the street.
Yeah. The first
Yeah,
day wasn't great.
I did get breakfast, and I think for lunch we went into that sort of weird Euro place.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
ended up in the basement of a kebab shop, and
Yeah, so that was a weird one because there's that island in the middle of Paris that's got like Notre Dame and a bunch of the governmental buildings on it.
yeah,
Just outside of it, there was a little market, and we walked through there, and there were like 4 Euro shops on the same corner.
yeah,
And there were people just yelling at us like, "Come here, come here, come here!" And so this one guy, he called us out, and we're like, "All right, we'll just go here. Just make a decision and go with it."
yeah.
They lead us down into this basement that's got cobblestone walls and like a single fluorescent light down there and a few tables.
Yeah. Okay, but like looking at that, like that's like a cool thing, but then you realize there's no air circulation, ventilation, so
That
Anyways.
wasn't a problem until they led 5 more people down there.
yeah, there was. So basically, Jacob didn't come with us that day, did he?
No, Jacob was with a different crew.
Yeah, but anyway, so Peter, Michael, me, and then one other
Nate.
guy, Nate. That's right.
We all went down there, had some euros. It was good. The guy who served us
Lots
didn't
of
speak
near-death
English.
experiences.
Yeah, then they led 5 more people down there. We all started to get a little lightheaded because I think we were running out of oxygen. So we paid and we left, and that was good. What else was notable that day was that we went into the Notre Dame Cathedral, which was a few months before it burned down.
Yeah,
which-
it was like a month or so before the roof burned down, and
Mhm.
it's one of the coolest places I've ever been in, man. Honestly, like
Yeah.
the stained glass is so beautiful, and it's just like you know you're in like a really old and really like historic place when you walk in there, and it's one of the coolest feelings. Like, and the outside, like the front is so beautiful as well. So it was a really cool thing to see.
And it was especially cool. Oh, Jacob, you go.
I was gonna say just from like an engineering and architecture point of view, like how insane it is that they could create that thing just using bricks and like mortar and pestle and kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And like nowadays, we just create square buildings that go into the sky, but they're making these giant vaulted ceilings, and they used buttresses on the outside to hold up the walls so that they could use less supports on the inside, and it's pretty crazy.
yeah,
It was definitely fascinating to get to see that. And what's remarkable is that Notre Dame is such an old cathedral. And I think that's what makes it even more impressive is because a lot of cathedrals after that are just copying what Notre Dame did.
yeah.
And it's huge. And I think Peter might have been the first person to point it out, was that everything in Paris was just bigger.
Yeah, that's facts. I think stone and big versus US every building's like made out of wood and drywall.
Yeah.
And like the biggest buildings you can find in like where we live, like Denver. like I don't know. It's like skyscrapers, obviously taller, but it's not comparable to a lot of the buildings there. Like even the towers there aren't even that tall, but they're like really just grand, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, everything's more like aesthetically pleasing. Like when you look at it, you're like, I like this. This is good.
This is nice.
So yeah, that was really cool to see. What else? We had a crepe that day. Those crepes kind of
Oh,
good.
wow.
those
To kill
crepes
for,
hit
to kill
different.
for,
Yeah. So the
or to
crepes
die
were
for,
great.
rather.
To kill for.
Just to kill for.
Yeah,
Let's see, what else
so
happened? I think.
Oh,
I think
God,
that
I
was
don't
about it
remember.
That day. That was
We
about
got
it that
that
day.
for dinner. We got that weird pizza.
what you guys
Oh,
did,
not
I was
worth
getting
it.
to that. I did not get it because
Yeah, it
I
was-
fell asleep at the table.
Wasn't
So like
worth it.
That
I
make
fell
moves.
asleep face
Yeah.
down in my. I fell asleep like face down on my plate and like spilled my water on my head, and no one did anything. I just like sat there in my own saliva, just like
Oh,
passed out face down on the table, and everybody else ate the pizza.
This is more pizza for us because that pizza was like Ritz crackers. One slice is
Yeah,
like a Ritz
nah.
cracker worth of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like
Well,
crust and cheese.
I mean, at that point, people had we'd been awake for what 30 hours. So like
Yeah.
seeing people drop in at that point, I was like, makes sense. It was dark too. That restaurant was super dark. So it
Yeah,
was like
the bathroom was
prime
literally
sleeping.
dungeon.
Oh yeah, the bathroom was in the dungeon.
The bathroom like opens up to the catacombs.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it's like how many dead people were put through
Yeah,
this
man.
bathroom in the Middle Ages. So we went back to the hotel though, and I think that this might have been probably one of the more fun parts of the trip for some reason, was just messing around in the hotel with friends. So we were on like the third floor or something, and every single hotel in Paris has windows that open up without a screen on them to a road. So we were there because we'd never had that before. I don't know why that was such an amazing thing. Was
Yeah,
to have
windows
windows
don't
that
have
just
screens.
opened. Yeah, like that's
Such a revolutionary.
we loved that shit. Like everybody that had one of those just loved it.
These
It's like they don't have bugs there or something.
These kids decided to throw stuff out the windows and.
Yeah, we were trying to hit people.
Do.
We were trying to hit people with animal crackers. We did that. We and then I passed out really hard first.
Yeah, like so it was me, Peter, and Michael in a room the first night, and
Oh boy. This
so
story.
Michael's like, I'll shower first, so he goes and showers. As soon as he gets out and lays on the bed, he's out. He's done. He's cooked, and he was out. We like.
Hold on. Time out. He was dressed, right? He got dressed
he was
before he
dressed.
fell asleep?
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
Let's be very clear. Michael didn't just walk out of the shower naked and fall asleep. He was
Although
No.
completely buck naked, got into bed and passed out.
No, he was so out. We could blast like annoying sounds directly into his ears at full volume. He didn't move a muscle. Dude was fully comatose.
Hey man,
Hey man.
that red eye shit hits different.
No,
I mean,
but when
we're
you're in
all
the bathroom. You're in the bathroom, and the door doesn't even really have a. It doesn't have a lock, but it doesn't even close fully. And then the shower doesn't have a curtain. It's like the
Or
open
door.
stall shower.
I walk into the shower and someone got the whole wall.
You gotta have a
soaking
certain
wet.
level of trust with the boys to take a shower.
I think Europeans are. I think Europeans are a little more comfortable with nudity than most Americans are. We'll get to it when we get to it. All right, we'll just say that.
No. Lies.
So what?
Nah.
And I want to defend. So all these weirdos in my room are clowning me for putting clothes on before I fell asleep. But I'm gonna defend myself because when I woke up the next day, I didn't have to get dressed.
No. Slam.
Yeah, but like I was wearing, because I was wearing like my normal clothes, not like pajamas or anything. Just like I put on what I was going to wear the next day and then fell asleep. Yeah, so that's like a travel strat, like a travel tactic is it's going to be a pain to get up the next morning. I don't want to get up and get dressed. I'm just going to get dressed now. And sleeping in jeans.
Not worth it. I'd rather scramble.
I'm defending my
I'd rather
decision.
just scramble.
So
I mean, especially it's easy enough if you're coming back to the hotel too, because you just rip open the suitcase and take what you need, and then you can just leave it.
Yeah, day 2, we just kind of toured around Paris more, I would say.
Yeah, well, we went to the Eiffel Tower in the morning,
Yeah,
which was
And then
pretty sick.
we went over. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
drove by the Arc de
and then
Triomphe.
down the
That was all we got to see.
Champs-Élysées.
It's just like through a bus
Crazy.
window.
so
drove down that bad boy.
we got dropped off by the Opera House over there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I didn't go in that, which I regret.
Yeah, so the Opera House was cool.
oh yeah.
Because you couldn't just get in. That was like an optional thing we could do. They just gave us free time, and they're like, "Hey, it's 10 euros to go into the Opera House." And that thing was awesome. We paid the 10 euros to go in, and I do not regret that at all. Because, I mean, on the outside, they had like gold busts of a ton of musicians, like Beethoven, Bach, all these guys on the outside. Ton of huge statues of various artists.
The inside of the theater itself is like the walls are completely plated in like gold, basically. And so to protect it, you're not allowed to take photos, and it's also really dark in there. But like just seeing it visually is really cool because it's obviously gold, so you can still see it, and it was super cool to see. During that time as well, I think again, Peter, Michael, Nate, and I, not Jacob, went to they had like a little shopping center, but we didn't go to the shopping center.
It was not a little shopping center. It's the Lafayette Mall. It's like the biggest mall in Paris.
Anyways, yeah, so we went up to the. I mean, we walked through looking at stuff.
It was like 8
we went up to
floors.
the top, and they had like a little food court. The food court was little, let's be honest, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was really good. Well, it was decent. And then they had this observation platform, and you could see the whole city, basically.
Yeah, that was
So
sick.
you could see like the financial district, Eiffel Tower. I think you could see the Arc de Triomphe, or what? How do you even say it? I don't even know. Triomphe. Oh yeah, Arc de Triomphe.
Triomphe.
And then what
It's
else?
like Triumph,
You
but
could see like everything.
French.
The Opera House was like right next to it. It was a really cool view of the city, and you could get like a nice panorama picture. Nope.
yeah.
Let's see. What did we do after that? Did we go and have? No, we went to Montmartre or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'll talk about the hill. So we're going here. We're going to Montmartre, which
Walmart.
and I'm not capable of pronouncing French things. Yeah, we were going to Walmart next. So when we were going to Montmartre, it was described to us as a hill outside of Paris that overlooks the city. Now, when I think of hills, I think of like, sort of a not a significant climb. But this was a significant climb. It was a small mountain outside the city. And they're like, oh, it's just a hill. I don't know what hills are in Europe. Like, if the whole place is flat until you get to the mountains and they're just like, that's a hill.
Probably.
But we get there, and they have a staircase up. We get off the subway, walk up a few streets, and they have a staircase that leads up to the big cathedral at the top, which,
Yes.
by the way, was awesome. We didn't get to go inside and see it, but it was super cool. And Timson, who is also the track coach, tells us we need to run up the stairs.
In-season athletes need to run up the stairs.
These are some big stairs, like super steep and huge steps that
Yeah.
are super thin as well. So you have very little area to step on, but it's a massive step up, and we had to run up it.
Oh, dude.
Now the cross country team, because we're all f***ing weirdos, me and Peter, Blake, Alec, we're the actual runners, and so we were all like, all right, we got to see who gets to the top fastest. So we all start running up. The soccer girls are behind us, just sort of taking their time, trying not to fall. We were just going ham, like YOLO, you only live once.
Well, but you weren't even running up the stairs. You were running up like the side ramp that was like not a walkway.
So I did that because I didn't like the stairs. I felt like I was going to fall after going up like 10 of them. So there's this smooth marble siding area, and I decided to run up that instead. And it was fine for like 75 to 80% of that hill. And right at the end, I just scuffed up my knee real bad. So my knee was the first casualty of the Europe trip. And I made it to the top. I think Blake got up fastest. Yeah. And once we were up there, it was awesome because it did overlook the whole city. You could see the Eiffel Tower, which, by the way, the Eiffel Tower is a lot bigger than you expect.
So, like, once you get to the top, like it was nice, man, but the stairs were just not great. But once we got to the top, it was super cool. So basically, they have the cathedral at the top, but then if you go a little bit over, there's a plaza, and it's just a bunch of artists like selling stuff, and so it's like a art market. What is art show? Art market? I don't know what is it called. Art market, whatever. And so like we were just literally like going around like just like looking at art. I think Michael bought something. I bought something. I don't know about you two.
So yeah, it was cool up there. There is one thing though that I want to ask, and because we sort of brought it up a few times. Jacob, where were you during all of these things? Because it was like me, Peter, Vince, and Nate. So I want you to tell us what you were up to.
Okay, yeah, I was with like during when you guys were like in the opera house during that whole free time, I was in the like shopping mall and getting lunch with I think it was Court, Sarah, Sam, and someone else, Sam Franson. But we were just walking around the mall the whole time, and it was the kind of the same group when you guys were in the kebab shop on the first day. We were looking around for escargot and like local food kind of stuff. We ended up not getting any, so I didn't have any food at that time. So, and then at Montmartre or whatever it is, I did run up the slippery cobblestones on the side, and I was so out of shape, bro. I was at the top there. I had to sit on the curb, bro. I was dying. It was not a good time.
I think this is probably a good time to clarify. We say that this is a big hill.
Oh yeah.
This staircase that we ran up was steep enough for the French government to justify putting a tram next to it, like one of the trams that you would take up a mountain for sightseeing in like Brazil. Not literally a gondola, but it had one of those next to it.
Yeah, man. It was. I was like, you know what? It is what it is, but when I go back to Paris, you won't catch me running up that bad boy again. I'm pretty sure they said like some of the French like Olympic athletes go and like train there. I'm pretty sure like that's something I heard. I definitely wouldn't be surprised, bro. It's yeah. So anyways, Jacob really we were talking we saw Jacob obviously, but like during free time, like when we would split up, it is what it is.
That changed. This is the rising action and like exposition for like we've just set up a lot of things. windows in the hotels, the room setup, the group dynamics, and us purchasing artwork. Oh, one more thing we should set up: the lack of public water in Europe.
Oh man, dude, there's like no public water. You got to pay €2 if you want to like use a stall, and then like you have to pay like €1 if you just want to take like urinal or whatever. Like it's kind of like, dude, I'm just trying to go to the bathroom, man. Why are you charging me? But at the same time, it makes sense because that money goes to like keep up the bathroom. But still, it's just kind of like,
I think it's a good policy, honestly. I sort of the thing that I liked about Europe was that everything was just €1 or like €5. There was never.
It's very even prices. They don't charge you $4.99 and then tax you, so you get like 76 cents back or whatever, which is nice for sure. And I'm not saying the bathroom policy is bad. It's just something I'm not used to for sure.
Yeah, I think we got used to it. But I will say any bathroom that I paid to use was very nice and very well kept.
Oh yeah, after the Coliseum, you had to pay for that. Or no, the one after the Coliseum was that? Do you have to pay for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was nice though.
Yeah, it was, I mean, like I said, it's not that it was bad necessarily. In fact, it's probably a good thing. It's just something I'm not used to. But I think we've probably talked about bathrooms enough. So let's reset.
So let's continue on to bathrooms.
So yeah, there's no public water basically. Public drinking
Yeah,
water.
you either have to sit down at a restaurant and order food and then get a water, or find a place that sells bottled water.
I've never been the same since I drank the tap water.
Did you try tap water? I don't think I even.
I tried the water in the bathrooms at the hotels. It was alright. It wasn't actually that bad. Honestly, it's probably better than like
So
a lot of Colorado tap water is pretty good. It's really good.
Oh yeah, of
Like
course.
a lot of the U.S. is definitely better than
Number
like
one.
most of the U.S.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so Michael, continue.
So the next day, we went to the Louvre.
Hold on, but
The art museum.
night we also went back to
We got there.
Eiffel Tower and saw it lit up at night.
Which
was
was a bunch of
yeah.
scamsmen
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, but when it was actually lit up, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was just a minor thing, but there was the guy filming his music video in the middle of the street flexing his euros, and that was pretty cool.
That was so
And
cool.
Steadicam.
So there's like a street that runs like what is it? No, it like runs like straight under
Straight towards
the Eiffel Tower. Obviously, like it's closed it. But anyway, so he was like he just ran out of the middle of the street. He's got his little cameraman and just filming a music video and just flexing his euros. And not gonna lie, that was one of the cooler things I saw that day. Not the whole trip, but nah, dude. I want to know. Like, I wish we could have found out like who that guy is, man. So let's watch his music video.
Yeah, we walked along the river that night as well, and that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we got yelled at by a scam.
Well, see, the thing is,
And by a
Jacob was hanging out with us. Jacob started hanging
I
out
don't
with us.
mind. I didn't
That was
mind the
good.
scamsmen that much.
Oh no.
For the most
no.
part, they were sort of funny because, yeah, they were harmless. They're not always harmless, but they were, thankfully.
So basically, Jacob was hanging out with us when we were walking around the riverfront
Yeah, we got
because he didn't want to ride the carousel with the other crew.
we got yelled at by a Russian man about how bad. it is.
Well, he was like, basically, he was trying to come get us to buy his wares, and we were just walking. He was like, "Hey, kid, no Trump, Putin number one, Putin number
Yeah.
one." Not sure how that was supposed to come and get us to approach him and buy his stuff, but you know what?
It is
It
what
was
it is.
pretty funny. It was
It
super
was so
funny.
fun.
Like that's just the kind of thing that you can't like imagine would happen, and then it happens and it's funny.
Yeah, so after that, though, it was rather brief because basically Simon, who was our legendary tour guide, went back. He basically said, "Yeah, we can't be out after this time because it gets too dangerous." So we went back to the hotel a little earlier than many of us probably would have liked. And I think this
Okay.
might be a good time to describe the Paris hotel room, because we just described the window.
Hold on. I have a story about on the way back from the
All right, go on ahead.
the Eiffel Tower. So basically, I'm in this group. We're in this group. I think you guys were in it as well. But when we got on the metro, there was some
Oh yeah.
guy trying to play like La Bamba, and then like everybody started playing like, and we got lit with the little busker on the tram, or not on the tram, the metro. That was pretty cool. But it was like honestly, like that day, like I was finally processing things, like because the previous day I was so tired, but that day I was like processing things, and like I was having so much fun, man. It was like one of the best experiences of my life from there on. Okay, so we got back to the hotel, and I actually don't know this hotel room layout thing.
So the way that me, Jacob, and Peter's hotel room was, there was the shower on one side with the door that you could see through and no shower curtains. There was the window that we opened. We already mentioned that, but the beds were a little funny. So the beds were small, and there were two of them.
And they were like smushed together.
I got one bed.
Oh.
Jacob got the other bed, and then Peter got the pull-out bed,
The shelf.
which could only be described as when you put a small child in the
Kind of-
dresser
kind of a nice
drawer
bed.
with some clothes underneath them. Like it pulled, and it was small.
Nice.
Like
All the
me and
beds are,
Jacob's
like,
beds
oh,
were
yeah.
All
small.
the
but
beds, like
Peter's-
the real beds, are always like hard as rocks. I'm a soft bed kind of guy, you know. You gotta sink in a little bit.
Yeah.
All like the pull-out ones and like the makeshift ones they always had in the rooms were like the garbage cots. Well, those were always the best. Except for the rug. Except for the rug
you-
that Jacob had to sleep on.
Where was that?
Like that was in Montecatini.
That was like the one bed
Yeah,
that
it
wasn't
was-
good. But I
I got
enjoyed.
a 3-inch
I
thick
enjoyed-
doormat that I pulled up
Let-
on the stairs.
let it be known that we have, like, if we put this in terms of like storytelling terms and like the hero's journey, we've crossed the threshold. This is like the first challenge, and it just gets weirder and wilder from here.
Oh yeah, but it's still so enjoyable, and it's so cool to see these things. But I think one of the things that really made this trip is you can go to Europe, right? Like you can save up your money, you can go to Europe with you and maybe your family. But going with your friends and your school group is like, it's a totally different experience than anything you're gonna have. Like obviously seeing all these things, Eiffel Tower for the first time, Notre Dame, etc. Like seeing it is cool, but what really I feel made the trip was the interactions we were having. I don't know. That was just what I was.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that it was us interacting with an entirely different part of the world that really made it an interesting experience. But also that we were doing it with people that we've grown to know for 3 years at that time.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So so the hotel rooms, Peter was sleeping in a dresser bed. We went and did a little bit of sightseeing the next day. Well, we should talk about the Louvre. We didn't talk about that.
Oh yeah. Well. I mean, but if we're going chronologically, what
That's
happened in
next.
the-
That was
Okay.
the day after the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
right. But well, I'm confused. Are we just explaining the hotel room setup? Like, what was the point of that?
Peter was sleeping in a dresser.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That was
Yeah.
the point of that.
Okay. Sounds good. So Louvre is.
We-
So this was our last day in Paris. This was the last thing we were going to do in Paris. We went to the Louvre, and we were like the first group there.
Yeah, we woke up
got there-
extremely early to get there before anyone else.
That was totally worth
Which
waking
was
up
worth
early
it,
though.
kind of, because
I think it was worth it.
oh
Yeah,
no,
that was totally worth it.
actually yeah, it was. So basically, you get to the Louvre, and there's an underground and above ground entrance.
Yeah.
Am I right about that? That
Yes.
sounds. So The above ground entrance is the one you always see like in pictures or like if there's like a movie scene at the Louvre. But the underground one is literally underground and there's like shops around there. So we got there
Yeah.
pretty early, and then we were waiting for a while.
Yeah, we were waiting for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And the underground entrance, so the glass pyramid out the front of the Louvre, apparently there's an underside to that, and that's where the underground entrance is right underneath that.
Yeah, that's where we were at.
Oh wait, but it's under the small
No,
pyramid.
yeah, there's a
There's
small
two
one.
glass
You enter
pyramids.
the
I
small
forgot
one.
about that.
That's the above ground. That's the above ground.
Yeah, small.
Underground is just like through a random door.
But it's like a flip side.
Yeah, the main lobby is underneath, and the above ground entrance is the big pyramid. The small pyramid underneath that is the underground entrance, and that's where we were. And that was cool. There were some shops, like Vince said, but once we got in, that was when we started finding some cool stuff.
Okay, so basically the first thing we did as a group, we walked through and we went straight to the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Now, I want everybody to share your thoughts on the Mona Lisa itself.
I mean,
Because who wants to
We're
share?
hyped.
I can appreciate the detail and the effort that went into it, but it's literally like a 1 foot by 1 foot portrait of some
Big
random
fan.
lady.
Big fan.
Exactly.
And there's this huge crowd piled around it, people taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I think the crowd makes it better because like the Louvre is kind of like it's not loud, but there's a lot of like ambience and just kind of like general noise, like constant
Yeah.
noise that you're hearing, like from fans or whatever. And then, you can hear people talking, but as soon as you turn the corner to get to the room where the Mona Lisa is, it's dead silent in there. And there's like this huge like corral that people have to stand around and watch from. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, no.
Part of it
I
is the crowd.
The closest you can get to like 5-7 feet away.
It took us a little.
So you're still pretty far away, so you can't even
I
get.
was more disappointed that they took down the huge painting that they put across from the Mona Lisa.
Isn't there one? Yeah.
or something? They put it's like a 20-foot painting. It's huge. I was disappointed that they took it down.
To me, this is my opinion. One of the most, it's probably the most famous painting in the world. Is that?
That is
Yeah.
truthful, I'd say.
Yeah. And obviously the detail is so amazing. But to be honest, when you look at it, obviously, wait, who was it? Was Da Vinci?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
who
Da
painted
Vinci.
it? Da Vinci. Okay, Da Vinci, obviously one of the greatest minds, artists in history. But when you look at it, it's so like the painting itself is kind of underwhelming. But like just like knowing like the history that like went into that and like looking at it, like it gave me chills. Like I don't think the painting itself is that good, but like the aura around the painting is like okay. I'm not saying it's a bad painting. But I'm saying other paintings in that building are more brighter and like that sort of thing. But I mean, I got chills in front of it, to be honest.
Yeah, because it's like, at least with that one, I don't know. Like the other paintings, it's kind of like It's kind of like going to like the Denver Art Museum or something, where like they're good paintings, but it doesn't really like evoke that much emotion out of you. But like the Mona Lisa, I don't know. So yeah, something about just like you said, like the history is really cool. Where it's been stolen before, and you're like, I don't know. It's something about that painting is just.
Oh, it's so cool. Like being.
I don't know if it's the room that it's in, where it's like it's made to be special and separate, but.
Wow, yeah, it's super cool.
That's kind of similar to like the Venus de Milo or whatever that thing is called. There's something about that one too. It's just like I don't know. It's cool because you hear about it so often, and then you feel like
yeah. With that one, me and you we were just like standing in front of it, and there was like a throng of tourists who came up, and they were like,
no one was there, no one was looking at it, so we went over.
We went over there, and literally they followed us, and they're like, "Can you move? We're trying to take a picture." And we're like, Maybe not. We're just gonna stand here. We're just looking at it, bro. We're just looking at it.
Yeah, I'm
It's so
actually
cool.
looking at all my photos that I have of it right now, of all the things we saw. And the next spot we went, and I'm not gonna lie, you guys think like the Mona Lisa was cool and it evoked a lot of historical things. And I sympathize with that,
Big fan of it.
but I personally thought that the Roman and Greek section we went to was far cooler and far more fascinating. Which we went to immediately after. So we saw, like you said, Venus de Milo. I have photos of Vince looking at the statue of Athena.
Yes, sir.
No, the statue of Athena is clothed. See, there. Photo.
Sheesh.
So, but I thought that was a lot cooler because, I mean, because looking at like a bust of Julius Caesar, it's like this dude has changed history more than I would say any other individual.
Yeah.
No, those ones have to be fake though, because those are like, or not like they have to be like replicas though, because they were just sitting out there.
No,
I'm pretty.
no, that's
Yeah,
The
no,
French
a lot of
stole this.
yeah.
They don't even care about it, man.
a lot of the
oh, they care about it.
yeah,
It's-
no, a lot of the
they
Well, they care about it.
A lot of
They
the-
obviously care about it, but like
a lot of the statues and busts are just sitting like that picture of the Julius Caesar. Like that's how a lot of them were. They were just sitting there. There's no way those aren't replicas.
I think they are real, but
I think they're
Because you
real.
could, I almost knocked one over.
they are not replica.
I almost ran right into one. There's no way it's not.
Peter, they are not replicas.
I think you get prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And
Nah, there's no way they have them sitting out.
They're
like
not
that.
replicas.
I get the ones. There's like the ones in the glass casings,
They're not replicas.
but there's no way they just have. There's so many of those statues. They're just sitting
know,
like on.
But
A table.
they're not going to make a.
They're not.
They're not
there's-
fake.
There's no way
They're
No,
not.
they're not going to make a replica of every single one, though, Peter. Come on now.
I mean, they totally would. They totally
Oh,
would, but they
Yeah, they
didn't.
would.
And I appreciate that because getting to stand
It would
and look
actually. It would be
at
decently
a
easy.
bust from ancient Rome, the civilization that most of Western society is
No,
based
those are
on.
100% replicas.
They're not. And
Come on, let
I
people
stand
talk,
by it.
Peter. Holy cow, man.
Nah, hell
They're
no.
not-
Those-
they're-
No. Nah, man.
Was that? What was that? Was that in the
Yeah.
Louvre? Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay. I think another. Well, like with the. Yeah, Michael needs to talk, man.
so the busts aren't fake, and I think that was cool because getting to stand. I mean, I have photos of it. Getting to stand under a statue of Augustus Caesar, like that was carved in the ancient Roman times.
Augustus Caesar?
look- Yeah, Augustus
Everything.
Caesar.
Wait, what about Julius Caesar? Why is it Augustus? I don't know who Augustus Caesar is.
Augustus Caesar was Julius Caesar's nephew, I think. He took over. So Julius Caesar created the Roman Empire and was killed shortly after. Augustus Caesar really established the Roman
That's
Empire.
right. That's right. Okay.
Julius Caesar, like, these two guys basically created the foundation for how society would function for the next, God, what is it, like 1,000 years?
Yeah.
Even more than that, in the Western world, at least. And I think that that's really cool, getting to see sculptures from the time these guys were at least close to being alive.
Yeah, that. I agree with that.
And they had the statue of Romulus as well. That one was super cool. Yeah, I thought that the Roman stuff was probably way cooler. And as far as the paintings go, another painting that I felt a little bit more impacted by than the Mona Lisa was some of the ones about the French Revolution and like
Oh yeah,
Napoleon.
100%.
Those were really cool to get to see in
Those-
person.
The what is it? Is it like Liberty leading the revolution, whatever?
Yeah, it's something like that.
The one with the horse. I know what you're talking.
Okay, well, the one with the horse
one-
that I posted on Instagram with Old Town Road playing, that was pretty sick. But no, the Liberty leading the revolution, I think is what it's leading the people. Liberty leading the people.
I think
There's also
There's like
This
French people
painting.
like crying in front of this painting, man.
there was also this painting that I saw. I think we went into some like side room and we saw this one in there. And this one was just I don't know what it's called. Let me figure out what the name was, but it's basically a painting of an art collector's mansion
It's a painting.
Oh, yeah,
where
this
it's
is
just
really
more
cool.
paintings. Like there's
It's a
paintings
painting of
inside of
paintings.
paintings.
Yeah, and
Yeah, this is really cool.
I think
Sorry, guys, viewers can't see this, but this is a very cool picture.
Let's see if hold on. Yeah, so it's just like it was super impressive getting to see all of those things.
Yeah.
I think my favorite
but
painting was the School of Athens fresco.
Yeah. Although wasn't that in the
that was in Vatican.
Was
yeah.
it in the Vatican? I
Yeah.
got confused because the insides look the same.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
it's still amazing though. Vatican Museum.
honestly, some of the Vatican. Yeah, I like the Vatican.
they were
paintings.
awesome.
Yeah,
School of Athens is so cool.
Honestly, I kind of like the Vatican more than the
I think
a lot of the things. The like Greek or not like the Roman crap in the Roman crap or the Roman stuff in the Louvre. That I think that was the best.
I think the
the Louvre and the I like the
Yeah.
Mona Lisa, but then the Vatican art was cool. I like in the Vatican the ceiling.
Mhm.
They painted like almost every single ceiling is painted.
yeah. I
Oh,
think the
this
thing
is-
with the Louvre is it has a lot of volume or stuff. It has like so much,
Yeah,
but the Vatican has very good quality. Let's see this picture.
That's one of my favorite photos I took.
I think I like your photos, Michael, because it shows the people there too. I think that's a cool thing to see.
yeah.
The people in the museum.
Yeah, thank you.
for-
So
Yeah.
I think that the Louvre was cool, and I really enjoyed going there. The things I didn't take photos of, looking back, are probably some of my favorite things I actually saw there because you go to the Louvre to see the Mona Lisa, and you go to the Louvre to see some of the Roman and Greek stuff. But they had a whole like section dedicated to Islamic art and Viking art
Mhm.
and
Oh, yeah,
African stuff, and we went and saw all that.
those are in the sewers.
Yeah, they were downstairs,
Oh,
like
yeah.
hidden away.
Yeah, that they really hid those. It was like Norwegian woodworking or something like that.
Yeah, and
It
we
was
went down, and
super
those
cool.
were cool. Those like they had a Norwegian sword with like engraving on it, and they had the Islamic stuff was cool as well because they had like these beautiful hilted blades and stuff, and they had
Yeah.
What's that one exhibit at the they brought a bunch of the Viking stuff to the Denver Art Museum. I went and saw that. The Viking stuff is sick.
yeah, that was super cool to get to see because that's the side of the Louvre that you don't really ever get to actually go and see because you have to see all the things you have to see first.
Yeah. Which I mean, you have to see those when you go to the Louvre. You have to see those.
Yeah,
Like we're not saying avoid those. We're just saying in addition to those, check some of the other stuff out.
Oh yeah, if you're there, you gotta take like 3
Oh
hours.
no, you gotta. You could
it's a
spend
whole
a
day.
week there.
it's a
You could
whole
spend
day.
a week just in the Louvre, but it's a full day thing.
I could speed run it. I could speed run
And I didn't take a lot of
We
photos.
didn't even see half of it, Peter. We didn't even see half of it.
I want to go back to the Vatican because we were just in a constant because our group is so big. We just were constantly
Yeah.
walking, so you couldn't really stop and look at anything.
I want to go back to all
but
these
I like
places.
it more because it's like an interactive. It's like an interactive museum because like the Louvre, it's kind of set up like almost every museum here in the U.S. where it's just kind of like walls filled with paintings, which is cool. But yeah, the Vatican is like you're just surrounded.
Yeah, and it was
surrounded with art.
it's
which is why I like
fascinating.
it better.
And we'll get to the Vatican when we get there, but that was a great part of the trip.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're sort of just laying the groundworks for some of the other things that will come up over and over again. It's like the exposition setup and payoff. So
Hold on,
Jacob
so-
still was not with the group at this time.
Yeah, Jacob, what are you doing while we're roaming around the museum? What part of the museum were you roaming around?
After we split off from the group, we were just kind of walked around. We found the like Egypt part of the museum, which is pretty cool to see all the gold masks and the sarcophagi or whatever, hieroglyphic tablets and stuff. But we ended up going to like Native American and Pacific Islander art, as well as the African exhibit, which some of that stuff was cool. They had like the tiki masks and is like your basic stuff, I guess. And I wasn't too impressed by that stuff, but and then we found in one of the courtyards they had a bunch of I think they were Greek statues. We took pictures of those and stuff. But I didn't really see too much impressive stuff. I would say nothing really that I saw was like, wow, that's really cool, or stuff like that. I was like, oh, it's a painting.
There's just a lot of stuff in the Louvre.
There's
a lot of stuff. And the stuff that you go there for is definitely worth seeing, but definitely it was worth it to wander around too.
Yeah, and one more thing, like the setup, the Asian tourists.
Oh man.
It's a stereotype, but I know why it's a stereotype now.
Yeah.
They flock.
Yeah, everywhere, absolutely everywhere.
And the thing is, okay, so when you look at it, oh yeah, but like the thing is, like we've grown up learning about these paintings, right? Like this is like we've heard about these things in our history books, the paintings, the sculptures, the Louvre itself, right? And I don't want to generalize, but I feel like for a lot of those tourists, it was more about just looking at it and taking a picture, looking at it and taking a picture. They don't actually like experience the thing,
But I don't know if they're capable of it, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. But I mean, like, do they educate people on Western history in China, or do they focus more on their own history?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that they feel a connection to the art as much, and that's not a knock on them because their education system is obviously just different. But I think it just when we see these kind of things, we're like so enamored, and it's like the coolest thing we've ever seen. But and we know the story behind it, or we know the story connected to it, and so it means something more to us. I don't know. That's just what
That's fact. If I went to like China and they had like an art museum or something with like Chinese paint, I would have no clue about any of them.
Yeah.
exactly right.
I would be like, no, I'd just be taking pictures and walking away.
Right? Yeah. Do you enjoy the value of the art looking good, but you don't appreciate the story and the history associated with it, which is okay. It's just the flocking is obnoxious.
Yes, and I think that's just, it's just inevitable when you don't know where you are, you don't understand any of the things you're looking at, you're going to flock to other people that you do understand.
Oh yeah.
So, that was great.
I think that's the Louvre pretty much. So here's the deal with the Louvre. So it was the ongoing what were they, yellow, they would put on the yellow vest protest. So we had to get out of the central city. What am I saying? We had to get out of the center of the city so we didn't get struck and miss our train.
Yeah,
basically, right? So we were in process and moving. Let's see what else.
we kind of didn't we just take the bus over to the train station?
Oh well, no, we went to the what's it called? The crepes, macaroons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that was cool. It was like a real macaroon shop.
Macaroons taste like dog.
Come on now, Peter. Come on now.
Peter's also the guy that does not like fruit more than vegetables, so
Macaroons are
you've
disgusting.
been discredited, my good sir.
No, but even like the I don't know, all the I should have because I didn't know like a lot of the flavor because this isn't all in French, right? So it's like, oh yeah, just add a bunch of ones you like.
Just,
Nasty green.
yeah, you get like green tea.
Pistachio.
You're not gonna like green tea flavored those.
And then the chocolate one was not good either.
You gotta get fruit flavors.
No, because the fruit ones were nasty too. Like
The
lemon.
lemon one was good.
There
I got passion
Disgusting.
fruit. That was really good. And orange as well.
was the what was it? It was what's her name? It was named after the one Queen Marionette. No,
Marie Antoinette.
yeah, that's her name.
Let them
They
eat
had,
cake.
they had a flavor of it was called the Marie Antoinette, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. So we got the macaroons, and then we went to the train station in Paris. We went to the train station, macaroons, and we just kind of hung out there. I think the world's tallest man was wandering around that train station.
Just
that-
loafing around.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we were just hanging out, and then it's kind of chaos getting onto those trains with such a big group because however many tickets you have, that's how many tickets you have. Well, however much storage you have, that's how much storage you have. And some people didn't listen to the guidelines of bring a small suitcase,
Yeah,
so they brought their
This is where the antagonists are introduced. This
So basically, one of the teachers on the trip asked me and a couple of like guys. She's like, "We just need you guys to load the bags." So we're just literally like hand me bags, and we ran out of room. We're like, "Well, we're out of room." They're like, "Figure it out." So we're like Tetrising different suitcases behind seats, and it was just kind of frustrating because I was like, if people had brought smaller cases or like even like normal sized cases, we would have been more than fine. But people brought their I don't even know. They were huge. There was no need for a suitcase that big.
Yeah, it was the train ride itself was sort of cool because I don't think I've been on an actual train like that before. And it was fun just getting to sit and talk for a while, but it was a long ride.
Oh yeah, it was like 4 hours down to Nice.
like 6-7 hours.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
6.
It was long, and we were just kind of talking, hanging out, and the cool thing is basically the lower train, the lower area of the train. Dude, I can't talk right now. I'm so sorry. The lower area of the train car was all of us. Was only J people. I guess the upper part was
There was
other people too.
yeah, it was
But
Yeah.
But anyways, the bottom that train car started smelling so bad, but it was just so much fun too, man. Like,
yeah, it was hot. There's like no ventilation in that train.
but it was just so cool because like we were interacting with everybody and like just kind of like talking, enjoying the trip, and I think that's what made this is one of my favorite things on the trip. Actually, this train ride because it was just like a shared experience, and we were all just like having a good time and enjoying the moment we were in, even though it was just like a train ride.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Now we did have some annoying neighbors.
Well, yes, but I felt like for the majority of that train ride, I felt kind of calm about it. I don't know.
I was calm with it, but it was just like there were certain things that it was like okay, it wasn't too bad to begin with, but train ride was like 6 hours long. And then we have finally arrived in the next part of our grand adventure.
Yeah.
Nice.
So basically, the train ride was cool. Just kind of talking to people, getting ready for the next part of the trip, and then we arrived in Nice. And basically, we're gonna actually split this into 4 parts. We've been kind of texting on the side here, but there's a lot of content, and we want to keep our podcast around an hour or so. So there's a lot of content in each city. So
Nice was special.
Nice was really cool. So that'll be the next part. So we went to 4 cities: Paris, Nice, Florence, and Rome.
Milan.
We did not go to Milan.
Oh, we didn't go to Milan. We did not go to Milan, Peter. Get that out there. We did not go to Milan.
We stopped in Genoa too, and Pisa.
We went.
We did actually stop
in the mountains.
We went to every city in Italy, actually.
Did we actually stop in Genoa?
I remember we pulled off the highway. I would have.
Yeah.
Oh, at that
Yeah,
gas.
Yeah, our impression of Genoa is that of a gas station rest stop.
Actually, that's kind of sick.
Didn't our bus driver have to rip his?
He had to rip a vape.
Yeah, he had to rip his vape.
Anyways,
All
we'll
right.
save this for the next few episodes or whenever we
Yeah.
talk about it.
So,
Yeah.
Nice, we
Nice,
arrived,
Nice.
and that
Nice, we
was
arrived.
quite a
It was a
highlight.
late. It was what time was it? 10 p.m. when we arrived. Ish.
Yeah.
8ish. It was late. It was.
The time was
I don't know.
irrelevant except for how dark outside it was. We were all hyped up,
Exactly.
but we'll get to that
Yeah.
there. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Does any?
Yes, everybody. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So this will be a 4-part series. This is part 1. We'll be talking about our next 3 stops on the trip in upcoming episodes. Thanks for watching. Be sure to, if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe and like. If you're listening on another platform, thank you. Maybe go check out our YouTube if you want. And anyways, peace, guys. Thanks for listening.